Let's talk artificial intelligence and business. I'm gonna share how the global giant Ikea actually uptrained 8,500 of their employees before replacing them with artificial intelligent chatbots. And then explore a one-man business where this guy actually put ChatGPT as the CEO and he just executed what he was told to do. So a number of venture capitalists are actually outsourcing the most important part of their job. And I'm gonna break down the key highlights from a big 50-page report that McKinsey put out about artificial intelligence. But one highlight that I'll share with you right now is that it's a $1 trillion transformation.
Plus, I threw in just some cool robot stuff, because, like, why not?
Did you know that Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Jack Ma, and Mark Andreessen have all invested in the same artificial intelligence company? Yeah, KoBold just became one of the billion-dollar unicorns, like that. They're training advanced artificial intelligence models to look for certain metals in the Earth's crust. Lithium, nickel, cobalt, copper. They're worth their weight in gold. Or maybe not gold, because that's actually a precious metal, but you know what I mean. Because to have a sustainable future means that we need much better batteries, and these are the rare elements that we need to get batteries to the mainstream. Right now, this company is all research and development. Their AI is modeling the Earth's subsurface with the kind of detail that we've never had before, using machine learning and all sorts of different signals to try to see really what accurately is under our feet. And by understanding some really subtle patterns that actually happen when you reflect off radar to the density of this material, they think they can do precision drilling to an extent that we've never seen before. And then those 4 billionaires will finally get what they deserve, $12 trillion. But now let's turn our attention to some other well-deserving people. AI annotators. Are they the unsung heroes of our AI times? Well, Dzieza wrote an article called AI is a Lot of Work, in which he goes into quite a bit of detail about just how hard the job is of AI annotating and how important it is and how underrated it is. He documents this large number of workers that we never hear about. They label and categorize this endless sea of data, and their jobs are super monotonous and it's really hard on them. On the bottom level for the workers, there's literally no transparency. They work for some random company that doesn't seem very big and they don't know where it goes, but it's getting funneled up into the big companies like Google and Microsoft and Facebook. They just don't know it. And with Sam Altman saying that we're about to break capitalism with artificial intelligence, I'm just starting to think of these other systems. A national dividend payment if the government owns some of these companies and then they just divvy out the money to us. Maybe that pays for UBI. I don't have good solutions to that. We're gonna explore that in future videos, but just to get your wheels turning, there is a lot of work being done and nobody's really appreciating it. Smash that subscribe button. So I said I'd throw in some robot stuff, so let's do that now. Check this out. This is an Amazon cart that's also your checkout. This is genius. Imagine that you're in a grocery store and it knows you, it knows your preferences, and it knows what items are in the basket. So from there, I can imagine a future where artificial intelligence seamlessly understands what it is that you want at home, where you are in the grocery store, and what's in your cart, and can help you just get it done. Imagine just looking at your cart and knowing like how many calories are in there or how much money it is right now at this moment. Well, that future's not far off, especially because these kind of Amazon shopping carts have been in R&D for a couple of years now. And I love the idea because it's a self-checkout system on wheels. And because it's Amazon, it's plugged right into all those like billions of reviews they have of every product, so you can just scan something on the shelf there. But I think that Amazon should maybe even subsidize these things, because if some grocery store like Costco's like, yeah, we'll use these, but you need to pay like the hundreds of millions of dollars to like build them for us, it would still probably be worth it for Amazon because they would have data about everything being sold at Costco. Let's explore AI's role in future vacations you're going on. So this guy, Jacob Kukak, he wrote an article called The Future of Hospitality. And it's all about how AI-powered robots are gonna change the sector forever. He's imagining AI-powered concierge doing all sorts of receptionist tasks and resulting in a seamless check-in, check-out experience when you're on vacation. And of course, take that a step further and you get embodied robots. Housekeeping, food service, security, you name it. And he talks about one of the main platforms that's actually making this possible. It's a robotic operating system, which is a flexible framework that you could download if you wanna start playing with robots right now. And if you combine it with certain open source packages like OpenCV, which is an open source computer vision library, you can already start to prototype this out for the hospitality sector, and that's what a bunch of people are doing right now. I don't think it's gonna be long before these robots can navigate complex situations with the guests, because it's one of the clear places where it's easy to see how they're gonna save a lot of money when robots are part of the equation. So get ready for C-3PO to be your bellhop. Smash that subscribe button. Okay, so now it's time to break down this big McKinsey report. It's 50 pages. Luckily, we've got chatbots chatbots like Claude with 100K context windows that can help us summarize the key points. So McKinsey has something to say about artificial intelligence. But one of the key insights is that generative AI is actually going to contribute between $2.6 and $4.4 trillion to the economy. So the majority of this profit would come from customer operations, marketing, sales, software engineering, and R&D. Now, of course, a lot of it's going to come from augmenting or replacing customer interactions, but a lot of that's generative, whether that's creating the code base for new software, creating the marketing material, creating a custom experience, a connection with each of their guests. All of that could be based on a natural language component, which we're seeing the beginning of with these large language models like ChatGPT. They even highlight the power of the banking industry switching over as a $200 billion opportunity. Another big sector is the life sciences. They see it completely upending how that whole industry works. They think for customer packaged goods, generative AI could have a $400 billion impact. Okay, so even though McKinsey and I were just talking up all of this AI generated stuff, there's a really good argument that we're trading quality for quantity. In her insightful article called A Storefront for Robots, the author Mia Satow unravels the dilemma faced by small business owners. If you do online shopping, but you don't just stick to one place, you kind of browse the web, you find different stores, then you might have noticed a whole bunch of garbage showing up lately. Like we did a comedy video where we laughed at just how pathetic they are, but they're so full of keywords. Google keeps bringing them up in the rankings. And not just that, Shopify, a tool used by millions of people, it's got AI generated content writers built into it. So businesses can put up a product, just write a few sentences, it generates all the keywords and all the descriptions. So what's happening is a lot of people are using these tools. They're generating a lot of text to help the Google algorithm know what they're doing, but that's not making the user experience better. That's not information that actually helps somebody buy a product. And that's causing this relentless churn of just more and more SEO trying to get into Google's search algorithm. And even though it helps, with everyone else doing it, you have to like pump out even more than them just to even try to rank, and it's just becoming burdensome for some of these people. And when I say some of those people, I also mean the customer. Okay, now let's talk about one of the gems in today's video. Ikea has a pretty heartwarming story about how they're handling AI chatbots. And that's by actually making a point to upgrade their employees, not replace them. Ikea has now retrained 8,500 of their employees from call center representatives into interior decorators. So they have this new AI chatbot, something along the lines of ChatGPT, but it's called Billy, and it's starting to handle the incoming questions. And unlike most of the things I've reported, how most people just started laying off their employees to save money, Ikea made the point to create a new business around interior design. So now if you want like the call center experience, you get the chatbot, but now if you actually want to talk with someone, show them photos of your living room, have like an actual human being to talk with and discuss things, have a social connection with, that's what they're doing. And I think human connection is not needed right now, but I think as the world moves this direction, that's going to become more and more valuable. So I'm really hoping this actually does work for Ikea, that they're an example for the rest of the world, and that eventually their profits become so high because so many people have like a concierge over at Ikea that they sort of know and trust every time they move, when they design things, that will turn into a lot more money. And that might stand out more in the future than it does now, but right now the chatbot Billy has taken over 47% of Ikea inquiries, which all used to be directed to the call center. All right, I'm a little skeptical of these, like I'm going to give ChatGPT $100 and do whatever it says to get rich kind of things, but let's walk through one anyhow. This is a company funded to the tune of 100 euros, and the CEO is ChatGPT, which basically says, you're the boss, I'm the human counterpart, and we have $100 to work with. Oh, and being upfront, as the human, I don't want to do any manual labor. Okay. So now it looks like he upped it to a $1,000 investment. ChatGPT says social media service, online courses or tutoring, or print-on-demand store. Right? And these are all interesting ideas, but it's pretty crowded on Etsy right now. So if you make some custom coloring book, good luck finding enough people to buy it. If you want to teach a course, that does scale well, but you should really be personable and have expertise, and I feel like that's going to be a lot of work to build up an audience. And social media management service, do you have social media skills, or are you just going to go to ChatGPT, and why wouldn't those people just do it? Well, listen, I don't want to be negative. Maybe he succeeds. Using text to image, you've got a cool logo, great tagline, and it goes with aesthetic apparel. It's nice. Okay, so I'm very surprised, but I was wrong. In just 48 hours, he had 200 orders. I mean, part of that feels like because the experiment on social media is really what's driving the traffic, but nonetheless, it's working. And then look at this. One of the social media things that ChatGPT is so good at got 8 million views, 8.5 million views. He's got 2,500 subscribers on Substack. He's killing it. He's been featured in a documentary on AI and now talking with Netflix. Oh my gosh, I like totally misread this experiment. I've seen a lot of stuff like this and it never works. Hashtag building in public. Okay. He got 50 requests from interested investors. Is this real? The big boss finalizes the pre-money valuation. Okay, that's quite the business. Okay, so they got some money, now they're expanding into other verticals. The FOMO in me is growing. All right, nice little photo of him smiling there. That's about a month ago at the time of this filming, and they have 100,000 euro in pre-seed funding. I don't know. I'll have to process this. All right, I do have one prompt that I want to share with you. A prompt that all entrepreneurs and pretty much everybody should know. So at this point, I was just gonna criticize how dumb that last thing was, but since it turned out so successful, this will seem ironic. I'm gonna give you a prompt. You can put into ChatGPT or Bard, whatever. And I think a variation of this for your life might be helpful. I'm gonna ask you to do blank to help me with my business or my life or whatever. But before I do, I want you to ask me 20 questions about what I need. Ask me about my business, my customers, my audience, or anything else you need to make a good decision on my behalf. And then you answer those 20 questions, and it will have this robust idea about what it is that you actually want. There you go. ChatGPT pro tip. We've seen the entrepreneur side of the equation, but let's see if AI can replace the venture capitalists. Andreas Goeldi asked an important question. Can AI replace VCs? 3 experiments. And discovered that you can't replace them, but there's a lot of room for augmentation, like drafting investment memos or conducting market analysis, and even analyzing who should be introduced to who and making some of those introductions can be done. Not to mention pitch decks and emails, all that stuff that we already know it can do. The author also found that network mining blows up exponentially. That's something artificial intelligence is really good at helping with. And at the end of the day, the experiment resulted in some unexpected but relevant connections that helped the VCs. So after being super impressed with that guy who made all that money on Twitter with ChatGPT as the CEO, I thought I'd ask it for a few business ideas. And here's what it came up with. A break room destruction service, a business around mystery soap. As you use the soap, you get closer to the surprise. And the prize could be a cheap little toy, or it could be a semi-precious stone. Offer portable holes for people who need holes. Portable hole? Are you imagining a bucket? Or do I dig holes and then fill them up and move them somewhere else? I have no idea. That market, how many people in the world need holes? Millions? Life coaches who use humor as their main tool to help clients. Dude, laughter therapy looks fun and awkward, but the awkwardness makes you laugh. I bet it feels good. I haven't done it. Yeah, fake paparazzi service. Dude, that'd kill it in LA. I think for a birthday, somebody would pay probably a couple $100 for that. I don't know. I'm closer now to believing ChatGPT is ready to be a CEO than I was when I started filming. Smash that subscribe button.